Greetings and blessings to each one today. I am sitting in this beautiful area where I do my meditation and my prayer oftentimes in the morning. And I thought of jumping on and sharing. I know it's been a long time since I've posted a YouTube video. And so I wanted to just jump on for those who have been asking and commenting. And I hope that everyone's doing well in these times, these very different times and challenging times in many ways, but also times of opportunity. And I've been more or less taking a time of isolation, if you want to call it that. Not total isolation, but at least stepping back from a lot of the spiritual work and putting things out there. I've been stepping back from that for almost a year now, following my guidance to do that and to focus on myself and some things, my connection, and just a very needed time that I was guided to take. And that time's not over, so I don't intend to jump back to full-time YouTube videos and teaching and things of that nature. But I did want to jump on and give a greeting and a blessing and a couple of words. So I sincerely hope that everyone is doing well. And what I wanted to say, first I wanted to say, part of me stepping back, I haven't been on YouTube very much, including looking at comments, but as of late I've been going through some of the comments, and there's no way that in a short amount of time I could respond to all the comments that have come through during the time of me being away. But I do appreciate each one, and deeply appreciate each one, and hearing from you guys about your journey, and even hearing that some of the videos and things that have been said and brought forth have been helpful in your journey. That's an immense blessing to me. Very grateful and thankful for you and your journey and all of us collectively together, and I'm grateful to be able to be a part of that with some of these videos. So thank you very much. I wanted to say during this time, this is a very challenging time for many who have not been on a certain wavelength of understanding. No shame in that towards anyone in our society, but for many people 2020 has come as a surprise, and I've seen a lot of people more or less saying what's happening, a lot of confusion, a lot of surprise, because everything has been disrupted and changed, and nothing seems to be the same as it was last year. For others, this has been more or less one of those things that we, when it occurred, when all this started happening, we more or less said yes, right on time. This was expected. And it's because we're in a transition phase, and some of the other videos have covered that, and I don't want to get too in depth with this, but we are in a transition between the age of Pisces and the age of Aquarius, a transition of that roughly 2100 year astrological phase. We know the last shift that occurred was when Yeshua was born. The wise men saw the star and they came. They had been preparing, the Essenes had been preparing for 400 years because they knew the shift was coming into a new age, and they were preparing for the Messiah of that age. That of course occurred, and now, all this time later, for the first time since then, we're going through another shift, another shift into a new age. And with that comes disruption. With the last shift, of course, the temple was desecrated and destroyed. The old ways were done away with when they crossed into the age of Pisces, the age of after Yeshua came. A lot of things changed, and shortly after, Rome was destroyed, and there was a lot of civilization upheaval, as is always the case with a transition, because there's a lot of old that goes away. The old way, the old wineskin simply cannot stretch anymore for what's occurring, And so there's a lot of upheaval, a lot of things are done away with, and a transition into a new paradigm, a new way of being altogether comes about. And this is actually an upgrade every time we go through these transitions. So right now we're going through that transition, and as a side note, I'll throw a little bone in there, and many of you may be aware of this, but if you want a framework for understanding what's happening right now, I highly recommend looking into the blue kachina prophecies of the Hopi Native Americans. The blue kachina, or in scientific terms, Sirius B, the star that appeared in 2012, signaling these times that we're in now. What I like about the blue star kachina, first of all, a lot of the things that are said, some of you will be interested to know, parallels directly with Matthew chapter 24 and other things that Yeshua, Jesus, said regarding the shifting of the ages, word for word. But I like the blue star kachina because it gives us some tools of how to understand what's happening and what we should be focusing on when this is happening. So check out the blue star kachina if you like, and I'll just comment a couple things that are meaningful to me right now. First of all, I just want to encourage you that the task that we should be focused with right now to a great deal is the task that we always need to be focused on, the main task of our existence here, and the answer to moving forward, which is so challenging but also so simple, and it's just to work on our connectivity, to work on our connection. Every day when I meditate, when I pray, when I wake up, and I walk through the forest, through this beautiful area that I happen to be living in right now, and just to move, and some of my videos have covered meditation and the concept of it, but just to move past the mind always working, the mind always thinking, and just to be aware of the presence, to be aware of the energy, to be aware of spirit in all things. And just to listen to, as I like to say, listen to the silence down below inside of us, where spirit is found, where connectivity is found, where the presence is found. And also connectivity to the silence down below, the energy that's in every tree, that's in every animal, that's in the sky, that's in the water, that's in every plant, that's in every breath, to realize that it's all one. And of course, this separation is what we are working on transcending as we upgrade to a new paradigm, this concept of everything being individual and separate. So to realize connectivity, in fact, I heard a commentary on these times that we're in and this transition, and how necessary it is to reconnect to spirit, to each other. And in fact, in the blue star kachina, it says that at this time, and this is a prophecy made long ago, it says at this time, which we're now in, the time of Sirius B appearing in the sky for the first time in thousands and thousands of years, that in this time, it said people will be trapped, of course using language that they understood back then. They said people will be trapped in man-made canyons, of course, like streets with tall buildings and things of that nature. It said people will be separated from each other, there will be wars, there will be selfishness, envy, materialism. People forgot their connection to Creator, people forgot their connection to Earth, and therefore people treat each other with hostility and selfishness, and treat the Earth without regard, without consciousness, harming the Earth, harming each other, and that's the time that we're in right now. And the solution of course to this is to regain our connectiveness to each other, to regain our connectedness to the Earth, to regain our connectedness to each other. Our bodies are made of dirt, they're made of water, they're made of all the elements that are found in the Earth. The Earth is our mother, our sustainer. And we are all one brotherhood and sisterhood, one collective whole of each other. And so to regain connectiveness, and the commentary said, if you want to start with something so simple, to work on your connection, then grow a plant a seed and grow it, nurture it, and treat that plant as spirit, with honor, with respect, with regard, with reverence, just a practical way to regain connection. So the task is complicated in our busyness. That's one advantage we've been given. We've been given the advantage of slowing down in a lot of ways during this time. But then it's easy to get caught up in the turmoil of worry and all the other challenging aspects that enter our life through this disruption. Can easily get us caught right back up in that place where our mind is so frantic and busy that we're not taking the opportunity to work on our connectedness. So that's what I wanted to share today, and it's not complicated. It's not leveraged with a bunch of head knowledge. We need to be simple, slow it down, listen to the silence below, work on our connection right now, be good to each other, be good to the earth, look on ways to upgrade our life in that direction. And also, one other thing I wanted to say quickly, the energy that's present right now is so, it appears almost destructive in terms of breaking down so many things pertaining to the old system. But also, don't get so caught up in the big picture that you miss that this energy is supporting our ability to shift into a new paradigm. I've seen this in my own life. Old patterns, old ways of being, thought patterns, behavior patterns, etc. At the snap of a finger right now, we can just elevate into, I should say, a new paradigm, a new way of being, a totally new vibration, a new mindset, and a new lifestyle in various ways. The energy is supporting it. So be encouraged, get your mind off the big picture to a degree. I think it's good to be focused on the big picture, but also don't get swallowed up in it to the point where you miss the fact that now's the time to enjoy yourself, to enjoy what's in front of you, and allow Spirit to raise you into what you are becoming so that we can make it through this challenging time in a way that is good. So that's what I wanted to share. Love, deep love to each one, and rich blessings and light always.